This is an India Today exclusive. The man who's going to escort Prime Minister Modi when he goes into the capital for his joint congressional address. Shri Thanedar, Congressman from Michigan, joins us here on India Today. Many thanks for joining us here, sir. Let's begin with the fact that you're going to escort the Indian Premier. How did that really come about?
Well, it is really an honor. And the United States Congress leadership, from both the Republican side and the Democratic side, asked me to be one of the escort. So as Prime Minister Modi ji enters the United States House chamber, I will be with him and escorting him. So this is a great honor. I was born in Karnataka in a town called Belgavi now. Okay. And we grew up in poverty. 6 sisters, a brother, grew up very modestly. And I even worked cleaning offices when I was 14 years old to help my family. And then when I was 24 years old, I came to the United States to study, to work on my PhD in chemistry. So having that background from India, to be able to escort, even becoming a United States congressman, being an immigrant, I came with nothing, just $20 in my pocket, one suitcase, with a lot of dreams about, taking education, succeeding in America. And to be able to escort the Prime Minister of India as the United States Congressman, that's a huge honor. And I am just so thankful to my leadership for choosing me to do that.
It's a rare occasion and a moment, not just for you, but also for India. The Indian Premier is going to address this joint meeting of the Congress for the second time, a rare honor in itself. Are you going to have a moment with the Indian Prime Minister? What's the conversation going to look like or be like? Have you thought about it?
Oh, absolutely. I will have multiple opportunities to be when I escort him to the house, when I meet him at the White House. The president and the first lady has invited me and my wife for the state dinner, which is a huge honor. And my wife and I will be with the Prime Minister and a few other people for the state dinner. And, I will get multiple opportunities to speak with the Prime Minister. And what I want to emphasize is that a strong India and U.S. relationship. Historically, I have seen right from Prime Minister Nehru, Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, India has taken this non-alignment position, trying to balance its relationship between Russia on one end and United States on the other end. But what I want to stress to the Honorable Prime Minister is that it is time for us to rethink our non-alignment policy. United States is the only superpower now. United States is the oldest democracy. India is the largest democracy, and it's time for us to come together, not just good friends, but great friends and allies. That India needs to align itself with the United States, and the United States needs to have a trusting relationship with India, a respectful relationship with India.
That's a very important point you make, because there are a few who have been talking about India becoming a part of the NATO plus. Mm-hmm. Do you see that as well? Do you agree with that idea?
Absolutely. I think this time has come now for India to choose sides. No more non-alignment, and at the same time, United States must realize that India, fifth largest economy, pretty soon going to be the third largest economy, and United States must respect India. And the United States can't just dictate terms to India, but needs to deal with India in a very respectful manner, respect for its people, respect to the Indian leader.
Do you think that shift has happened? That shift from demanding from India to now listening to India, accommodating India's concerns? Do you think that shift in America's policy has already taken place?
Absolutely. Because not because of any other reason, but simply the tremendous economic power India has. One of the strengths of India is its young people. India perhaps has larger percentage of young people as its population than any other country. Now, these young people with their technological skills are second to none. And that technology skills, engineering skills, the skills with manufacturing skills, India needs to be that next strong economy in Asia. And China, we got to talk about China. China is very aggressive. It's aggressive towards India in a military way, in India's northern borders. We know that. On top of that, China has been aligning itself with the dictatorial Russia. Now, China has also done unfair trading with the United States. Its labor practices are inhumane. Its environmental practices are absolutely atrocious. And both from a labor point of view, being fairness to workers, paying workers fair wages, providing workers with a living wage and a safe working environment. In all these respects, China has failed, and it has tried, to use unfair labor practices, unfair trade practices, dumping its goods on the U.S. market, subsidizing corporations so that they could dump low pricing goods in the United States. So on a number of fronts, China has unfair, aggressive policies. And India and the United States, when they have a strong bond together, now we have an opportunity to stand up to China.
Okay.
And India could be the next manufacturing leader in the world if India plays its cards right.
Congressman Thanedar, coming back to the Indo-US ties and the humble beginnings that you spoke about, how do you see this translate to working at the grassroots level, helping each other not just economically or technology transfer, defense cooperation, but people to people connect, allowing people to grow, and strengthening student relationships?
Well, look, I came to America as a student on a student visa, and the American embassy rejected my student visa 4 times.
Ooh.
And for the 5th time, I had no new information to give it to them, but I resubmitted the same papers. My counselor at the time, her name was Virginia, rejected for the 4th time. And in the 5th time, they approved my visa, so I could come here. And I learned that Miss Virginia had come to the United States for her vacation, and another counselor looked at my papers, and he found them appropriate to grant me a visa. So I had a lot of trouble getting a United States visa. Once I came to this country, to change my visa to a green card was a struggle. Now, the United States, the technology companies, every time I speak with the United States technology companies, they're looking for engineers, they're looking for scientists, and there are not enough scientists and engineers graduating in the United States. And so they have to depend on foreign-born scientists and engineers. And because it's important for the United States economy, it's important that the technological advances, such as mobility or electric vehicles or artificial intelligence, a lot of these areas, the growth, the innovation needs highly skilled workforce. And many of those are Indian American, but they are currently struggling because of student visas, because of H-1B visas, the shortage of H-1B visas, the long lines the green cards takes, And that has been very, very stressful on these engineers and scientists. And that issue need to be addressed. And I would urge President Biden and Prime Minister Modi to address that issue, because it is in the best interest of both of the countries. And resolving this immigration backlog will help American economy. It will help create American jobs.
Right, Congressman. Just going back to the joint meeting of the Congress, what was the thought behind ensuring that an Indian American escorts the Indian Premier?
Well, it says that the Indian Americans have contributed substantially to the American growth, American economy. Every walks of life, Indian Americans have participated, whether it's medicine, whether it's academia, and it is simply to honor that, I believe. That's what the leadership chose me to escort. It's a big honor, and I'm really excited.
Okay, really excited. I see a lot of lawmakers coming out and giving out statements welcoming Prime Minister Modi, but there is a section that has also criticized the visit, so to say, and have written letters to President Biden to raise concerns regarding human rights. What do you have to say about that?
Well, look, we have to look at this issue at a broader scale. No country is perfect. No democracy is perfect. United States have issues that we need to address. India has issues. Every other country has issues. But I think the key issue here is for us to be friends. And, when we are friends and when we are deep allies, these issues can be sorted out and they can be talked about. But at this stage, the critical thing is that we stand up to China and we join hands towards betterment of quality of life for people of both countries.
On a personal note, will your wife also be joining in, or will she just confine herself to the state banquet?
Oh, she will certainly be at the state dinner, which is a huge event. This is a state visit, which is only happened, I think, 3 times in the history of U.S.-India relationships. I think the last prime minister to get a state visit was Manmohan Singh in 2009. And I think that before that, Radhakrishnan had a state visit. So this is a very rare occasion, and this is an amazing opportunity for me and my wife, Shashi. We are all very excited. And then we will have other opportunities to interact. There are 2 other Indian American events, so one happening at the Ronald Reagan Trade Center and another event happening at the Kennedy Center, where my wife will be joining me in welcoming the Prime Minister of India to this great country. And these Indian American events are going to be interesting to be, and Mr. Modi plans to attend these.
On that note, thank you so much for speaking to us. That's Congressman Shri Thanedar speaking exclusively to India Today. In Washington, D.C., this is Geeta Mohan reporting for India Today.